And so one of the first things to do to develop a relationship with your higher power is actually to surrender the voice that sits over your shoulder, and as my sponsor calls it, the you suck voice. Hey guys, this is Drew with Sobriety Daily, and today we're going to be talking, we're going to touch base, just real little on kind of understanding, developing a relationship with your higher power. So, hey, if you are enjoying these videos, I'm going to ask that if you've enjoyed them, please, if I've earned your subscription, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Okay, getting into it. Okay, so understanding your higher power. A lot of times when we talk about our relationship with our higher power, one of the things that we really just need to look at is, are we accidentally blocking that relationship? So like when you sit down to pray or you sit down to meditate, do you immediately feel busy? I know a lot of times my stepdad used to call it shuffling papers, and I thought that was really, really funny. Like whenever he'd have like something that he needed to do or whatever, he'd be like, oh man, he would just walk around and just shuffle papers all the time. And I really kind of like, it connected with me, because I'll sit down to pray, and yeah, sometimes you just feel immediately busy. Or on the other side of things, it's like you sit down and watch Netflix and you watch 3 or 5 hours and you'll be like, oh man, the history of swear words, oh that was amazing, and you're like, boy, that was like 3 hours of my life that I can't get back. But yeah, I felt rushed when I sat down to pray for 20 minutes. Okay, so what they call that in psychology, and we're just kind of touch on that. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist. It was just something I heard. It's something that kind of helps to articulate the unrest of the human heart in relationship to its connection with God. It's just called repressed transcendence. And so it's one of those things that where you feel like it's stupid when you pray, or, like this is a waste of my time, or, God doesn't love me, or, this is just stupid. And so one of the first things to do to develop a relationship with your higher power is actually to surrender the voice that sits over your shoulder, and as my sponsor calls it, the you suck voice. And not everybody has a really loud you suck voice. I know that like I do at certain times of the day, especially between like 1 and 4 p.m. That you suck voice is just so loud. It's just, wow. And then for me, it's a lot of times when I sit down to pray, I'll hear the you suck voice. And so we have to understand that we all long to connect with a higher power. And when we're unable to, a lot of times it's just we've repressed our capacity to connect with God or with a higher power. And we've pushed it down because sometimes we're afraid of what happens if we believe it and it's wrong. The you suck voice that's driven us into addiction and into, just all these horrible kind of places. At least we know when that voice says, you suck, we know that, it's not wrong half of the time, because if it says you suck and you're drinking, it's probably right. Except for the fact that when we learn how to hear the voice of our higher power saying, hey, I love you, you've got value, you have a purpose, you have real meaning, you have a real job to do right here that really matters. What sometimes we can be afraid to believe that voice. And that's the beginning of understanding your relationship with your higher power. That as it says to you, you have value. And as it says to you, you know what, don't be afraid to share this in that meeting. Or, I love, I can't remember what page it is, but in the big book it says, we'll begin to operate on a plane of inspiration. And some of the things we might do may seem a little bit weird, but on the other hand, that's the beginning of that. And so what I want to encourage you to do when it comes to understanding your higher power is that when you hear that you suck voice, when you feel immediately busy right as you begin to pray, or when you think to yourself, oh man, this is really stupid, brush those thoughts aside. Just just recognize that that is an element of fear that's pushing down your ability to connect with your higher power. Like, even if you do actually think those things, that's fine. Just for a couple of minutes, just push those thoughts aside. Just give yourself a break from having those kind of thoughts. And then allow your higher power in to be able to actually give you new worth, give you new value, and give you new meaning. Because remember, you can't exactly go out into the universe and help others if you haven't been helped yourself. It's hard to go out and give something away that you haven't gotten already. And you really get that when you interact with your higher power. And as you stop believing that you suck, and as you stop believing that you have better things to do, as you stop believing that you're stupid, as all of those thoughts begin to fall away, you begin to walk with a renewed sense of not self-confidence, but like higher power confidence. That you know everything's going to be okay. You know it's going to be okay because you've been to the gates of hell. You've been to the gates of insanity and death. And you know what? Your higher power brought you back from it. So yeah, it's going to be okay. And that's the kind of hope that we take out there with us into the world, that we're not a glum lot, that just because we don't drink anymore doesn't mean we don't have fun, that just because we don't drink anymore or use drugs anymore doesn't mean that we aren't living great lives, lives full of gratitude and lives full of surrender and lives full of happiness and fulfillment and meaning. And all of that starts with believing what your higher power has to say. So sit down to pray at some point in time today, and just when those thoughts come in, feeling busy, you're feeling stupid, or you feel like this just isn't worth it, or that you're not worth it. Any of those thoughts, get rid of them and just allow that value from your higher power to kind of sink into your heart today. All right, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know, talk to me a little bit about your higher power. Does it have a name? How do you interact with it? Leave a comment in the section below, and we'll talk to you again real soon. You take care. Bye now.